everybody. How are we today, tonight? How are we all? Seems only a few hours since I saw you mob. Some, it seems like mere minutes. Righto. Before I get into the hellos, hopefully that introduction credits rolling music isn't too loud for everyone. I know I had issues last night with my test run. Music was a bit loud. Fingers crossed. Hang on, I might actually have to mute that as well. Hopefully that wasn't bleeding through as well. Yeah, hopefully that music's not too loud. I've got to find good levels. How's that music today, Derek? AQUA Funk. This is a little song of mine called Church Metal. It's very old. I think I wrote this song and recorded this song. Crikey. A long time ago. Maybe between 15 and 20 years ago I recorded this one. Righto, thank you. Thank you very much, Derek. I don't want it to distort. You don't want your heavy metal to distort, is it? It's nearly over anyway. Righto. As the song fades out. First and foremost, Candy Overalls. Deeply sorry for your loss, my friend. You guys have been through enough over the last few years. Always super sad to lose a family member, whether that family member is furry or not. So my commiserations to you. My heart goes out to you and your family. Yeah, I never really expect you to do any work here, so you sit back, chill out, potentially, get yourself a beverage. That is the idea of this show. Drink a beverage, drown your sorrows. Weekly drowning of the sorrows. Love you. Well done. Chin up and forwards and upwards. Whatever that saying is. So let's get into it. JH Aquatics, you were indeed first. Even though I saw you doubling down, sir. I saw you doubling down. So was I. We were both doubling down. Monica Lynn, how are you, my friends? Pamela, hello. Dawn Michelle, hello again. Seems like only minutes since I spoke to you. Debra Sanders, how are you today or tonight? That's those good probiotics. Those probiotics doing their work in your guts, love. James Hukulak, how's it going? Lacey, how are you? It's only a few hours since I saw you as well. Excuse me. GRB, welcome back. Good to see fellow Australians about, although we like everyone. Derek, hello. I know I just jumped straight in and asked you to help with the levels, but here's your official hello, mate. Pardon me. Big D, how's it going? Amber Bizzotti, how are you, my friend? Welcome back. And yes, say hi back to Passion for Pets. Did speak to her briefly last night. V-Stag, how are you? Good to see you. Robbie Bull, my old mate Rob Bull. Welcome back, mate. Good to see you climbed out of bed just in time. Excuse me. Working or lurking? Didn't we say something about that should be on a shirt? Whether you got to get dental work or not, Debra, time off work is time off work. AQUA Funk, how are you? Thanks for asking about the song. I found a vintage mini disc player of mine from many, many moons ago, and it had some old sequencer songs on it. So yeah, I got a it needs more bass. It's got the bass, it's just playing through these crappy laptop speakers. And every time I try and share Windows Media Player so you guys can all get it at full audio resolution, StreamYard doesn't seem to like to play Windows Media Player. So more cowbell. You can never have enough cowbell. Jenna Randolph, how are you? A night girl raid in effect. Sandra Bennett, how are you, my friend? Chicken Strips Missy. Seems awfully long time since we've spoken last. Passion for Pets. How are you, Anthony? Anthony's Fishy Friends is in the house. I'll charge my can to you, Anthony, and the previous 19 people I said hi to. Welcome. Welcome again. Nike girl, how the heck have you been, love? Very good to see you. Slowly getting through this list. I think that should be a shirt too. Slowly getting through the hellos or something like that. I seem to say it 47 times for the first 15 minutes of my streams. Thirsty Rabbit has made it in. Welcome, brother. And Bob Kaler, how are you today, sir? 5 minutes. Is that all they give you for lunch now, Thirsty? They're tight. They run a tight ship over there. No worries, Lacey. Well, you're a southerner as well. You know, you fit right in down here. Scrolling. Man, my butt is swollen. It's so nice to see everyone saying hi to each other. We're just such a friendly mob, aren't we? I don't think I have missed somebody. As we get to the bottom, we find Rob93. What's cracking, Rob? Charging. Long time no see, mate. But welcome. Nice to have you in this whole thing right here. Always good. It's always good to have all of you people here. It warms the cockles of my soul. Yeah, smash those likes. We love those likes. It makes us feel needed and loved and desired. And totally unexpectedly, Rob93 and AQUA Funk are straight into it. I just would never have expected that. You guys, pardon me. Nah, lol, Bob. Exactly what you said. RLC Aquatics. How you going, man? I don't know why you were hanging out with that dude the other day. I hope he didn't lead you astray. I hope you got home with all your fingers intact. Righto, P4P. Thanks for stopping in. Go and get that sleep. Sleep is the best medicine. Well, the second best medicine. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Gaffa Hanes, how are you, mate? Welcome aboard. Anyone who likes model railways, trains, all that kind of stuff, Gaffa Hanes is your guy. He's a wealth of knowledge on the subject. Thank you, Sandra, for hitting that like button. I'll see you soon, Thirsty. Shake it easy. Like AQUA FUNK said, I'm saying stuff and then I'm saying it in the chat. I'm like predictive text. No, your chat is like my predictive speak. Maybe. Bad influence, indeed. I'm sure, you can balance out some of that bad influence funk with all of that positive energy you've got until, Rob 93 or Fishy Biz or who's that other one? Joe Munoz. I think he gives you a bit of curry as well. Caleb, a sad hello to you too, my little friend. I don't know if I can even do a proper arr for you. Of course I can. I've always got an arr for you, buddy. There's a second one. A second one free of charge, my friend. South Georgia. Lots of peaches down there. Lol. That should be a shirt. So I'm gonna say that's a shirt every time we stumble across a phrase or a saying that should go on a shirt. And I'd encourage everybody else to do the same sort of thing if someone does it. Ginger Graves, how's your timing? That sounds like spectacular timing. People will talk. Damn right. Zach Sanford in the house. Welcome aboard, Zach. Good to see you again. I am at that stage of the greetings where I'm nearly at the bottom of the scroll. Chewy has made it. What you drinking tonight, Chewy? I'm always keen. I forgot to do any of those posts on the Facebook pages that I've meant to start, whichever one, probably either the Fish Place or the Fish Tubers notifications where we post up pictures of our beverages. I thought that was a neat idea, but you've really got to commit to those kind of things. Derek, his beverage of choice is coffee. Lots of love going out to Candy and the Overalls clan. Well deserved. I mean, the shitty situation wasn't well deserved, but the love that's being thrust out across the interwebs for your mob, Candy, is part and parcel of what this fish fam's all about. We share the love. We've got a lot of feels for one another, and we're in it as a clan, as a mob. We're all here together. We're helping each other out, and you can generally get a pretty good idea of who the genuine humans are that are out there for helping each other out. Of course, Chewy. How can I forget? How can I forget Sherry as usual? He's got sherry in a bottle. You've got to rub him the right way. I don't even know what that is, but I missed it. A Scot or Irish? I am pure blood Australian. RLC. And that someone else, was that last night? Last night on the impromptu stream, I think someone else was pinging me for potentially being English. Fish Freak, my Norse brother, how are you? Hope you're traveling well. Hopefully a little bit of hanging out here might keep you busy, as our previous conversation. I don't think I said that, Gaffer. I think what I was more implying to was just having reasonable kind of human traits. It's probably more human nowadays to not engage in some form of empathy for your fellow man. I think it's probably well more frequent nowadays. AQUA Funk, I think he got one of those, you squeeze the trigger and about a metre down the end of it, it's got a clawy thing to grab stuff. So I think he's all right. I think he's been dealing with his height for a few years now. I think he's got all of the issues sorted out. Monica, into the cories, some green cories. Interesting. There's like a bajillion different types of cories nowadays, isn't it? Cute little fish puppies. They're like an Oscar. This Oscar's getting ridiculous for me. Just won't leave me alone. Yeah, I think I've seen the videos of when he fell in and he's like all arms and legs flailing about in his big tank. Oh, look, he's got me doing it now. I try and defend the kid. Someone says something funny and I jump on the bandwagon. That's not like me. Neanderthals. Oh, well, you're on the Neanderthal stream last night, Gaffer. That's what we were doing last night, Neanderthal stream. I think I was doing these ones to highlight my Neanderthal forehead. I don't know, Dawn Michelle. I mean, they're very cool, but I'm tempted to give him back to my son just so my Feste and Jaguars can eat. Put some food in there and I don't know if anyone's getting much food. I've been trying to trick. I was doing these ones on the glass at one end, and the first couple of days it worked while I'd sprinkle food down the other end. Pardon me. And yeah, it worked. Like I said, the first couple of times, that little bugger learnt. He's all over it now. Not interested in fingers unless they're in the tank. I tried it the other day. I stuck my fingers in the tank and yeah, he had a couple of good bites on my finger. Zit. Yeah, it wasn't just one. He had a few goes. Yeah, well, I noticed yesterday too, Ginger. My gibby that is in there, massive and armoured as they are. Yeah, he was taking a bit of a hiding from the Oscar. So thankfully I did have the experience of having my finger in the Oscar's mouth and realising that his teeth aren't that brutal. So I'm going to assume that the armour on the gibby is nice and strong and can probably handle it. When Gibbo lived in my 3-foot tank with my breeding pair of Rivulatus. One sec, guys. Hello. Yeah, good. Yeah, come on in, man. One sec. Right. Excellent.
Your last name?
Ryan.
First initial.
M.
First middle.
That's always fun. That's actually probably one of the best ones I've done. Accurate. No worries. Scungy's going to be excited when she gets here. 2 pig boxes. No idea what they are. Now I'm excited too. Yeah, when the Gibbiceps was in my breeding Rivulatus tank, he used to get his tail fins and dorsal fin absolutely tore up. There they are. Zoom in. Go full screen. I don't want to milk the eyeballs. I feel so... What's the word? What do they say? Anyway, no, I don't. No, I'll milk it. I'll milk it for days. Milk it for days. Mr. Ward, how are you today? Chewy, that is a really good question. I haven't kept up on my ornithological studies, but I believe that, sorry, I should highlight stuff that I'm talking to, shouldn't I? I still forget that I'm the host of the show and that I do things, I'm supposed to do things to control. Max S, how are you? Good timing, actually, Max. Max may be able to help me with this one because he's a super knowledgeable young Australian, and Robbie Bull will probably chip in with a bit of knowledge as well. I believe you cannot export any wild caught birds anymore. I believe they need to be exported by licensed breeders, and the red tape, paperwork and conditions that you need to meet to be able to export them, I think, are quite tough nowadays because of the things that have gone on in the past with people smuggling them in cardboard tubes and down their trousers, all that sort of hoo-ha, because we've got some fantastic birds down here. But yeah, I think over the last 20 years, the laws have really been tightened up because people were doing, I mean, you get a lot of money for some of our fancy birds overseas. I think they were exploiting, and certain awesome bird species were definitely seeing demise in the wild. So pretty much all you can do to prevent that is enforce laws and regulations. Often, you know, it helps a little bit. Sombra, how are you, my brother? Long time no speak. I saw your message pop up before, and as you're probably aware now, this is why I have not replied or had my shot, as it were. Max S or Robbie Bull, got any Robbie Bull, right? They still export, but damn expensive to do it. Yeah, and like I said, to be licensed and get through all of the hurdles and the red tape also costs a lot of money to do it, let alone the shipping itself. Yeah, that Oscar is he's a bit of a prick. He'll beat up the smaller fish, but fortunately the Oscar will probably, oh, that's right, someone, who was it before, asked me, it was Dawn Michelle, wasn't it? How big is the Oscar? I'm gonna say 6 inches. But, you know, like most blokes, some of us are quite willing to call 4, 6, innit? Hey, you see what I did there? But yeah, he has a go, but he'll get to, you know, what are Oscars in a tank like that, max out at about 12 inches, and he's currently housed with I'm doing that thing where I point at my screen with my mouse pointer, but you guys can't see my cursor. This orange one down here, this is a Mesoheros feste, or a red terror, not a red devil, a red terror. You know, they get a good 14, 15, 16 inches. The males will get. Females will go over a foot as well. And there's also a jaguar in there. And we all know that jaguars, they can max out around 16, 17 inches. Pretty huge. So yeah, another reason why I'm super tempted to take the Oscar back down to my son's tank is because it is dominating the tank severely. So my jag and my feste are not getting as much food. Pardon me, crikey, I'm on fire with the burps. Iced coffee is gross, whoever's drinking that. AQUA Funk can't let go of the insults, but, you know, that's why we love you, bro. Robbie Ball punching in on the bird stuff as well. Yeah, well, I think a lot of your Cockatoos and Rosellas and Galahs, they don't necessarily have to be pulled from the wild anymore because you've got so many people breeding them. And what Gaffa says as well, certainly don't need to export budgies. Everyone in the world has one. Or parakeets, I believe they're known as around the world. I agree, Derek. Coffee has to be hot. And Missy, you've given up on my eyes and moved to my lips. I'm going to be accused of being a lip whore next. They're actually really dry and flaky and cracky at the moment. It's like super dry. I mean, it's been raining on and off for the last few hours, but it's the first rain we've had in like a month. It gets so dry and windy here at this time of year. Wild dojo loaches. Don't you got to go to Pakistan or something to get them wild? Oh, you mean if you can find them in a shop? Yes, he's still very little. I've done Big Oscar before, but yeah, this guy, my son has a, where am I? Here. My son has a 6 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot tank. I think we spoke last night about how my tank size is just on the dimensions. I don't know what the gallons is, but what's a 6 by 2 by 2 is a 180 or something? 150 maybe? No, it's bigger than that, isn't it? 200 maybe. Anyway, he's got a big community tank, which is South American mostly. There are a couple of African randos in there. Used to have some Australians in there too. Oh, actually, there is still a spangled perch in there. But I took the catfish out. They now live with my rivulatus. And yeah, I mean, there is videos quite some time ago on my channel if you want to go and have a look at a really wild community tank. I use the term community advisedly because it's more or less an action tank, non-stop action, lots of fish that will actually jump out of the water to get to your fingers when they think you're feeding them. Lacey going, sorry I missed that, I'm still trying to do this scrolling bizzo. Thanks Lacey, love your work and your continued efforts on the notifications page. You don't get enough kudos for the work you do. If everyone in here doesn't know Lacey's place, check out her YouTube channel. She's got one of my favorite accents on the planet. And yes, definitely puts up some awesome content and always worth a look. So thanks for stopping by, Lacey, and thanks for all your work. Jump onto her channel if you haven't. Now, Fish Freak is talking my language. That is the best way to do it. Unfortunately, I generally only have 1 cup in the morning, and that's not necessarily au fair to be popping that kind of gear into your guts at 7 o'clock in the morning. Well, I think, we're going back to birds again. I think they use the term parakeets to describe a bunch of small parrots. RLC, good night, man. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for staying up late to say g'day. Super appreciate your visit. That's slow. I've probably missed his actual leaving. I do. I've got a male Feste travelling up to me in a couple of weeks from Thirsty Rabbit. Thirsty's quite convinced that it's a bit of an asshole of a fish. So, and it's quite large as well. So I'm going to potentially put it in with my big male Rivulatus around the corner. Oh, pardon me. Because he is also an asshole of a fish. So they should get on swimmingly. That's right. I said swimmingly. And then also in my son's big tank, there is quite a spectacular female. So ideally, I would like to get some breeding of the red terrors going on, because like Chewy says, they are a species where the female is the prettier one. Super bright, nice, vivid, solid black stripes when they're in the mode. And I meant mode, not mood. When they're in mode, they are generally a solid tank boss. Your female will boss the tank if you've got multiple different species. But the males are also pretty. They just don't have the contrasting black. They are pretty similar to what this guy looks like. I know he's a long way away, so he's difficult to see. If you check out my Instagram, you'll see some pretty close-up video of them, but mostly orange all the way through their body, and the greeny aqua-y colour that you see in a lot of cichlids sort of speckling through the scales. So they're also a very pretty fish, but certainly not as striking as the females can be. I just seem to be bending over for all of Missy's requests. What have you done to me, girl? So true. They are one of the most spectacular birds. We are talking Gouldian finches now. We've moved on to birds. Lucky in my YouTube channel description, I do mention that I will talk birds occasionally. Gouldian finches are very pretty. They have multiple different colours, And when you see hundreds of them flying around at once, absolutely spectacular. Now, do I ever have a story about Gouldian finches? Robbie Bull, remind me to come back to your question about the Tandanus, because I do have a funny thing to say about that. But the Gouldian finches, we had down where my sons live, I think I said lived, but they still live there. They built a large aviary in around where I have my bathtub ponds, and we put a bunch of Gouldian finches in there. I think they were about $40 a bird, something like that. And the boys also put their blue-tongue lizards in there. They had quite the collection, about 5 or 6 blue-tongue lizards in the aviary with the birds and the fish ponds, and proceeded to eat the finches. That's right, blue-tongue lizards can catch birds. Who'd have thunk it? They don't move very quick, quite slow, but clearly aggressive enough to grab a bird by the back of the head if it lands near their mouth. So yes, all in all, about $180 to $200 worth of birds were eaten by blue tongues. Needless to say, a separate enclosure was built for the blue tongues. Todd Hill, how are you? Welcome aboard. Scunch Princess, how are you? Welcome aboard. You have mail. Oh, pardon me. On fire. Really, Max? Wow. I had no idea about that, about dojo loaches. That is interesting. Now I've learned something today. Are they, is their invasiveness restricted to particular river systems? I am going to put that on my notes to look into. I had no idea they were illegal too. I'm sure I know. I think I may know someone who has dojo loaches, but wow, did not know they would even go good in our river systems. You learn something new every day. The time here, Mr. Ward, is 12:39 in the PM. It is the afternoon on a Wednesday. My scungy has arrived. You know the drill, people. Dr. Blacky, how many birds do you... I'm assuming that if I continue to... there it is. I was going to say if I scroll down, I'm going to find the rest of that question. I actually have no birds, Missy. It is my sons who have birds at their house. They have some budgerigars and some finches. Yes, that's right. They replaced more finches. And
they got eaten.
After they got eaten, yeah, but they didn't replace the finches until they'd rebuilt or built the blue tongues their own enclosure in the backyard. And my son sent me photos the other day of potentially the largest blue tongue lizard I have ever seen in my life, and it was potentially one of their ones that escaped that has still been hanging around the yard. My favorite bird noise ever, Missy, is the crow. Not its wah, wah, not that one, but that little gargly noise the crow does in the back of its neck. That's my favorite. They sound so awesome. Well, that's right. I did promise Robbie Bull that I would get back to his Tandanus question. And now we've got, I have kept the reds and greens together in the past. My problem at the moment until I get this one that I'm getting off Thirsty. It should be a comparable size to my green terror, but my green terror is the largest green terror I have ever seen. It's approximately 9 inches long. It doesn't have massive finnage, like say if you check out Thirsty Rabbits, male Rivulatus. It has that really nice flowing fins. My guy has shorter tail fins and dorsal fin, but he's literally like maybe 4 inches tall, maybe 4.5, and nearly 2 inches fat across his body. He is a monster. C23 has made it. We've just been sitting here waiting for you, C23. I'm in all of my scrolling and not focusing. Dawn Michelle, thanks for stopping in, love, and a good night to you. Sorry if we're keeping you up. Yeah, those blue tongues, they know how to hunt, ambush predators, sit out in the open and get eaten. Righto, I've finally made it down into the chat to where people are saying hi to Scungy. Candy Overalls says hi. Bob Kayla says hi. That's what I was thinking, Rob. It'd be interesting to check them out. Pamela, the old 54 punchy, says hi.
Hi.
Sorry, Pam, I didn't mean to refer to you as old, but, you know, you do it more often than I do. GRB says hi. Everyone else, what do I like to barbecue? The last thing I barbecued, crikey, I haven't barbecued since Christmas Day 2018. What year?
Count as a barbecue when you smoke your duck.
Yeah, well, that's, you know, that's barbecuing. I think smoking counts as barbecuing, doesn't it? Yeah, I smoked a duck on Christmas Day and it was quite nice. I love duck. It's one of my favourite birds to eat. They're very passive, Bob. So I'm like so behind in the chat. I do too, Sombra. I believe that was definitely one of the sounds they used in that movie for the predators to make them sound spooky, because that crow noise is a wee bit spooky. Outdoor Encounters. Did Outdoor Encounters sneak in? G'day, Outdoor Encounters.
Of the Spangled Drongo. It sounds like it belongs in like a Chemical Brothers song or something. Have you heard that one?
I have. We have Spangled Drongos breed out here in the rainforest. If you all haven't, that's right, we have birds called drongos. And not only are they drongos, but they're spangled drongos. They make some wicked noises too.
They sound like electronic music.
They definitely do sound like synthesizers and electronica. There's a awesome, I don't know if you other Australians are familiar with the website birdsinbackyards.net. They have an awesome bird finder on the site. Even I think they let people from other countries check out the website too. But on there, they have a bird finder where you can search for your birds, and they, for a lot of the species that they've got recorded on the website, they also have the sounds those birds make. Derek 44 Mag says, hey, Scungy. Chewy says, hello, Scungy. Outdoor Encounters, we're just waffling pretty much, mate. We've jumped around fish, we've jumped around birds, we've jumped around sadness, we've done hellos. Todd Hill says, hi, Scungies. Just one Scungy, sorry. There is only one. He said one. I added the S for some reason. I think did I say my favourite bird? I don't think I necessarily have a favourite bird because there's so many cool birds down here. I love a lot of birds. Gotta love a good steak. And Derek, Big D. I know, mate. There is a story behind that, but I won't go into that here. Maybe ask me that question again on Instagram. You know, we might have to discuss that one personally about going 8 months without barbecuing. Ron DeSantos is in the house. How the heck are you today, sir? Thanks for dropping in.
You don't want to tell them about your magical growth in your smoker.
Oh, I could, but you know, that's also a story for another time. We could be here for hours if I keep telling all of my barbecuing stories. Robbie Bull says hi to Sarah. And, oh, excellent. I get a chance to scroll because 1,000 people are saying hi to Ron. Thanks, Ron, for coming in right now. You've made me able to scroll past everyone saying hi to you. I didn't mean that to sound rude. Plenty of people are drongos here as well. Lol. One day, Monica, you'll get past that. Probably. I once fed a live duckling to my pet snake. Actually, Sombra, who is in the chat right now, was the provider of said duck for my pet snake, Sue. HC Aqua, how are you?
Am I allowed to say his name?
Yes.
Hi, Todd.
Sarah says hi, Todd. Oh, that's right. I forgot to set the microphone up today. Shit. Hope my audio's okay. I knew there was something missing. Nah, unless people tell me that my audio's shit. Cove, how are you? Cichlids23 says hi, Scungy. Excellent. HC Aqua has done awesome timing as well, coming in so people say hi and I can scroll a little bit quicker. And Cove, lots of highs going on there. Yeah, those, well, Pakistani loaches, they will tolerate lower temperatures because of the temperatures they get in their natural environment, I guess. Well, you got that's home delivered food, Monica. If you got ducks playing in your front yard, it's better than home delivery. We will if we're all going on about stuff. Oh, to Creek Aquatics. How are you, Kendall? Thanks for stopping in, man. Hope we're not keeping you up. This is like such awesome timing. All of these super famous YouTubers coming in and letting me scroll quicker. That one's for you, Haley. Oddball Aquatics. I know you love it when I burp. Todd says hi back. I mean, he probably did like minutes ago. He did minutes ago. It's just that I'm super slow at scrolling through. I think it was the only time we fed it at a duckling because it was alive and it was quite a horrific experience. It was, I'm not going to relive that for lots of people, but I did video it and the video is still unpleasant to watch back. Do
you not have the same problem with germs and stuff if you feed it a live duckling as you would if you feed it a live rat?
Kind of, but there's different. Like my biggest reason for not doing live rats when I feed my snake, especially live rats that I've caught from the wild, the scratch and bite, and plus the wild ones are more likely to have parasites and whatnot, whereas animals that are bred in supposedly proper breeding conditions are less likely to have you know, that kind of crap going on in their bodies. Righto, believe it or not, I made it to the bottom of the chat. I've got to stop scrolling back up. What's been going on, Haley? I am from the... Thanks for your question, Ron. I don't know how familiar you are with Australia, but I am about 15 kilometres inland from the most easterly point of mainland Australia, known as Byron Bay. I'm in a town called Mullimbimby. Nice little small town. Well, it used to be nice, you know. It's been gentrified now. There's lots of city folk have moved here and ruined it. I mean, it's not completely ruined. We can salvage it. But yeah, that's where I'm from, Ron. I don't know if that makes it any clearer for you. Damn it, I said I'm not going to scroll back up. And I just did. There's so much God's country in this country. There's so many different parts that we could call that. Yeah. The do.
Notchy as well, chasing them everywhere. They've just disappeared.
I was getting commentary before in the chat about what was going on in the tank behind me. Bit of riv chasing never goes astray.
Is it just that because it's the only other fish it can pick on?
Potentially.
It's making sure it's not the one
Well,
that's going to dominate someone.
Ron DeSantis, like backpacking around the countryside, or were you like traveling in style? Generally, when people say they're traveling from Cairns to Sydney, they're roughing it, hitchhiking, doing doing it rough style. But yeah, nice one. You probably went right past my house. Well, not right past, but I probably could have thrown a rock at you from where you were going by. This one behind me, GRB, it's healed so quick from its initial battle with the jag. But yeah, it's such a beautiful fish. It's a lovely.
It did heal incredibly quickly, but I didn't know how much damage it had.
It did. There was some deep bite wounds on its back.
Is that just going to be helped by the salt water that went into?
No, just super resilient, tough fish, you know. Good on you, Ron, for doing it rough. But now you've earned your nice life. But it's good that you've been down here. Joe Munoz, how are you, my friend? I did. I went back and watched your Thirsty Rabbit story this morning. I could tell when you got to the punchline of that story, you were a little bit uneasy about whether you were going to say it. But, you know, got your point. It's, I like those fables, I guess you call them. The old Aesop made them famous, the old story with a moral. You could learn a thing from this story. Oh, did I miss Chicken Strips saying goodnight?
Stories are meant to be.
Well, you'd hope so.
It's the purpose of storytelling.
Sorry, Missy, I've missed your good nights and goodbyes. I hope if you're still here, you can hear me saying goodbye. Goodbye. I had to kind of shout because she might be gone. Doing really well, Joe. Sombra, are you asking me if I'll ever do a saltwater tank? I mean, potentially I'd consider it, but I've had this discussion with Bob Kaler before. That I think I'd primarily do salt water just for a few particular invertebrates, maybe, that I'm really into, or alternatively, a cuttlefish. Wow, did you Google it, Deborah? Is that what they say? So yeah, if I did a saltwater tank, it'd probably be for a couple of really specialized shrimp, or alternatively a cuttlefish, because cuttlefish are awesome. But
Can you put a cuttlefish in a tank? That seems quite.
sure you can, but it's got to be a fairly large tank. But
Will it be able to live a full life in that?
you know, will a 12-inch fish live a full life in a 5-foot? You never can tell, really.
Would you get starfish?
Probably not.
Corals?
Probably not. Well, I think, Chewy's, Todd says he'd certainly love to do a coral setup. I just wouldn't like all of the extra work, and the one thing I don't necessarily like about coral setups is the blue lighting used to highlight all of their luminescent colors and stuff. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with it, but to me, all of those different luminescent colors and stuff don't necessarily appear like that in the wild. And essentially, it's a little bit too colorful, you know, there's a little bit too much noise going on.
You want to, isn't it ideal to have a most like natural setting that you can have in a tank so that you are experiencing that kind of slice of nature?
Yes, I agree. So, you know, not every saltwater species lives with coral. Pardon me. Yeah, I think lots of money, and yeah, if you want your evening lights, sure, that is what a lot of people put blue on. Bob Kaler is, I don't know how many other saltwater people are in here, but Bob Kaler can probably confirm and say how frequently he's got his blue lights on. But a lot of the time when people are displaying their tanks in videos, they have them in blues, just like all of the extra colors and stuff. Hi, how are you? Hi. Good. So yes, I'm a little bit thrown about doing the blue light, but I'm sure people don't necessarily always have the blue lights on.
Do you have to do it, or is it only for display purposes?
I'm not sure.
Do they need it?
That's why I was just saying, if one of our saltwater people can perhaps explain, do the corals need the blue light, or is it just for display? Is there a particular, is it, if it is for the moonlight, is that so that they go through a particular stage of their biorhythms and whatnot? I'm really not super versed in salt water, but I'm, you know, like I always say, I think I say it almost every stream. I may not have said it on last night's stream. If you're not learning something every day, you're not trying hard enough. One thing I just learned is my drink's empty. Blue for corals, yes, but why blue, Bob? Is it just to display and enhance the colours that they're naturally providing? Or does it serve some purpose for their development and growth, etc.? Thank you very much. Larry D has made it in. That's, yeah, no one said that's a shirt, did they? But potentially it's a shirt. Why stop at one thing, Rob Bull? Why stop at one? Let's learn more than one thing a day. Then you know you're trying. Yeah, that's what I say, Monica. I don't think you really need to do corals to enjoy a saltwater tank. Right. And Sombra and Chewy both coming through with the facts that it is definitely a light spectrum that they need. That's GRB right down the alley of the only way I'd probably have a crack at doing it. Total ghetto salt water. I don't think I'd worry about protein skimmer, anything like that. I'd probably, go through the effort of prepping water and making sure that I've got ample water at the appropriate salination levels. But yeah, that sounds like a good way to do it. Just go full ghetto. Yes, thank you. Just exactly to do the whole money saving thing, because all that saltwater gear that you can get or be talked into getting, pardon me, is certainly not cheap. Have I missed more people coming in? Down. This one, Haley. Oh, hang on, that way. Just like a golden rare rope fish. It's rare.
But not as costly.
Not quite as expensive. Scungy has hit the nail on the head. And quite often, the bottle O, we call them down here, keeps enough in stock that they don't go and sell them out from under you and make you feel like a piece of poop. GRB. That's very cool that some people actually wanted your rando stuff that you just found just by not giving us stuff. Speaking of oceans, I wonder if I can do a screen share, if I can work this shit out. I'm pretty unco when it comes to this. It's going to be hard with only one monitor. But I stumbled across this story today. Sharing screen is yada, 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 yada. Share my... I'm going to share audio as well. Let's try and share my whole screen and see if this works. I've got to click that as well, don't I? Pro tip. But righto. Let me click over to this one. Now I'm not going to see anything. Don't have to flick over here as well. Giant volcanic rock is floating in the ocean, heading towards Australia. So, at some stage recently, a volcano had erupted out in the... Hey, you be quiet, mate. You hush. Turn your volume down, mate. Buttons are failing on this machine dismally. I think I may have clicked the wrong screen share button, so I've got a pretty dismal effort on screen. But basically, there is a mass of pumice or lava rock or of some sort floating in the ocean, in the South Pacific Ocean, heading towards the coast of Australia. it was apparently 120 square kilometers in size, the size of Manhattan.
What are the size of this?
They are, the size of the pieces are, I think they said, between table tennis balls and basketballs. Here's a picture of a dude holding up one of the larger ones. As I was reading through the article, and they were saying, crap, I can't see the chat now if I'm missing anyone to say goodnight to. So I'm sorry about that, anyone that I'm missing to say goodnight to. But they reckon that by the time, if it actually does reach Australia, that the time that it spends floating on the ocean, by the time it gets here, it could be supporting many, many, many life forms, including new coral, crustaceans, barnacles, all of that kind of stuff, plant life. And depending on where it hits the coast, it may actually repopulate some of our decimated areas of the Great Barrier Reef.
Where's that? Is it coming from like the islands?
It's sort of, it's a little bit east of Papua New Guinea, Fiji, out there somewhere. A bit north of Fiji. I think these guys were sailing between New Guinea and Fiji, I think they said. I wonder if I go here, if I play that though, is it going to stop my live video? Let's find out, people. Vavau. 20,000 football fields big, they reckon. That's Australian rules football fields they're talking about. It looks like it's just a slideshow presentation, but you know, it could be an awesome thing for the reef candy. And that's what I was thinking, actually, GRB. I was thinking, I hope it hits the coast and I can go out and scoop up a bunch of that lava rock. Look at that.
You like scoop it up.
It looks like you can just walk on the
stuff. Like a neatly set up saltwater tank and just see what
comes out of it, yeah. Well, Max is asking how it's. I'm explaining that to myself when everyone else can see. I'm struggling to see the chat, but it's pumice and lava rock, so it's very porous. I've had issues before using lava rock in some of my filters that certain pieces are more buoyant than others. They trap air in the pores, in their porousness, and float quite easily. And they're super light because of their porousness. But how's that going? It looks like you could just jump out the boat and stroll along that, and then it moves and with the ocean currents and stuff. An Australian football field is, crikey, I wish Aquamate was here because he's more the Australian footy nerd than me. I believe 150 or 140 metres long, and then they do vary in their widths. They're an oval shape. They're not squares. They're ovals, and I think they can range between 70, 80 metres wide and even up to 100 metres wide. Some of them are more circular than others. But yeah, about 140 metres long. It's quite a big playing field. And like GRB says, they're sort of the same size as cricket fields, but cricket fields are also very varied in their sizes. So yeah, there's a little bit of a map on screen there is where it's been wafting around to. But yeah, I found that Where are we? Let's flick back over here. Stop sharing. I found that super interesting. Probably should have screen shared without a comment on the screen. JH, it got there from a volcanic eruption. Pardon me, from a underwater volcano, an unnamed volcano. I did read in the article, so it's not a prominent volcanic formation. Tis just some eruption that happened up out of the seafloor, and all of this, I guess potentially the as the lava and stuff was erupting, being that it was happening underwater, potentially that's what might have made a lot of that rock so buoyant, bubbly and filling up with air and floating off in the ocean. Cody-san has made it in again. Only seems like about 13 hours since I spoke to you last, Cody. Lol. I was doing predictive speak again because I said pretty much the same thing that Rob Bull said. I do tend to agree. MCG is a fantastic stadium, a very good ground to watch cricket at. But the Gabba is pretty choice as well. You don't really feel that far away at the Gabba. Some spots in the MCG, you feel like you're miles away from the action.
Where's the Gabba?
Brisbane is the Gabba. GRB agreed about, scooping up some of the lava rock and seeing what seeing what life.
That would be an interesting experiment.
I think that's what he was referring to. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, if anyone else, that was a pretty shitty screen share on my behalf. I'm not an expert screen sharer by any standards, but if anyone wants to check it out, it's on the Sydney Morning Herald website under the tabs of World and Oceania. Hang on. I can bloody technology. I tell ya, how good's technology? I think I can just go, bang, look at that. It's in there now. Press enter to send. For anyone else who wants to read the full article, I've popped it in the chat because that's a thing you can do with technology. You can pop stuff in the chat. Who'd have thunk it? Thank you, Derek. I knew that I could count on you for my metric conversions. You are definitely my metric conversion or imperial conversion go-to guy. Definitely worth a read. I was quite stunned to check that out today. I found that very, very interesting. You read through a bit of crap in the news and then you stumble across something interesting. And I found that interesting and a little bit relevant to the stuff we talk about here. Damn, I thought I had another thing on there. Maybe I just closed it before. Oh, that's right. The other thing. Welcome back, Zach. The other thing I stumbled across, I don't know if anyone saw this, but Steve Jobs, or Jobs, however you want to say his name, was spotted in Egypt. Anyone else see that? They've aroused conspiracy stories about his actual death. It's very funny. The guy that they photographed in a cafe in Egypt, definitely sitting in his chair like a Western man and looking a lot like Steve Jobs. Weekend at Jobsies, Rob Bull. Now there's a film. There is a film. That's classic. That's classic Rob Bull right there. Potentially the funniest thing Rob Bull's ever said. Probably not though. But yeah, I would watch that movie, especially if it was to take part in Egypt. Well, now that he's been spotted in Egypt, he's probably going to turn up in a tomb. Don't go too fast, Drama D. You might bang your head. How are you, mate? Thanks for stopping in and saying hi. And cheers. I'll do a quick cheers for you. Super quick. No, he wasn't with Elvis. He was just drinking coffee. Hey, mate. Yeah, he's right here somewhere. He was just at my feet. He might have just went back inside. Well, they say that Steve Jobs has a Syrian father and he loved Egypt and he loved all of that Middle Eastern stuff. So it's not far-fetched. And, you know, most modern-day humans on the interwebs love a little bit of a conspiracy, isn't it? Oh, have I missed someone going? Boop. Potentially it was just a doppelganger, a random lookalike. Can never tell. Oh, hang on a sec. Keeping them entertained?
I'm not. I'm keeping quiet and off to the side.
Sorry, people. Just trying to work out the logistics of taxi organising company stuff. Crikey. Got older son doesn't want to because he's frightened. There's lots of police around at the moment. I can't go. I've had a little too much to drink. I mean, I'm not drunk, but I certainly would probably blow over. So yeah, sorry about this lull in communication, humans. No, it wasn't a turkey run yet. Righto. Nearly sorted. This is riveting television, isn't it? That is when you see spit fly out of my mouth on camera. Hopefully that is done and dusted. I got this haircut deliberately so I'd look more like a pirate. Oh, I'm not wearing headphones or anything. That's it. Where did I put the thingy? Shit, I've still got to hold it in place, don't I?
Well, looks like an eye patch.
World's biggest eye patch. No, it just doesn't work. Sorry, I thought my eye patch was going to work. But anyway, Caleb, you too can have a haircut like this. Super easy to do. It's just, you know, you might have to work a little harder on your beard at this stage. Sorry, I'm getting more transport messages through. Excuse me, sorry, people. Saying till 3. Bye, guys. Take care. Righto. Well, Robbie Bull, aren't you good? She sure did. I used to do all of my own haircuts, and then thankfully Scungy came along, and she just happens to have super mad skills at haircuts. And so I get her to work her artful eyes on making this magic happen. Not Nola Jane. When did Not Nola Jane sneak in? Welcome aboard. Happy Tuesday night. I thought we had a rule about not talking about Aquashella and stuff like that. Makes me feel super jelly. Robbie Bull, he likes the haircut. Good job. Good job, Scunge. I like it. It works.
Feels good too.
Very well. It is a very I know, Rob, mad skills at lots of things.
But on that note,
Very
can I do this thing?
Sure. The best things about being able to cut hair is the super amounts of money you can save, because by crikey they charge a lot for haircuts now. There's plenty on the other side.
No, it's not the same.
I had them pulled out and nearly put them into pigtails this morning.
How much more do you want down? I just took the ear ones off. Not those ones off too.
Sure. It's hair and it looks cut, so job done. Absolutely. Like I always say, there's only 10 days between a good haircut and a bad haircut.
Right.
And I thought the transport issues were over. Let's continue. Now I've got hair everywhere. Alright, fingers crossed that is sorted. Like I always say, Cove, you can wish in one hand or spit in the other hand and see which hand fills up first. That's a shirt. The clippers are the best. Clippers are the best. I have a friend. Oh, clicked it on the wrong. I have a friend who used to be a drummer in a band I used to play in. He's a hairdresser in Brisbane. He's got a fancy little hairdressing salon. And the people that go into his salon, it's like minimum $170, $180.
Mm-hmm.
And that's minimum, you know. He gets people in there for like 40 minutes and they're spending $250, $300. Yeah, he drives a nice car. Yeah, he's in a nice neck of the woods. It's crazy. Susie Q. I was trying to keep it PC. I wasn't really. I mean, I've sworn like 17 times this stream already. No, I don't think the happy endings happen. And so I thought. The transport dramas were over. Let us continue into the world of shit transport. Right, that's got to be 1 sec. Oh, I've got to pass on a message and wrestle a crocodile. You know what that means. Talk amongst yourselves. Or with her. Sorted. He's staying longer. How was this straw today?
Have one of these ones.
I can.
Yeah, you can.
$2
$2.
out of their big bargain bin.
Do you want one of these instead?
Yeah.
Save that for when you're a bit more.
Despo.
Yeah.
G'day, righto, I'm back. Shelby Ray has made it in. Shelby Ray says, hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Did someone sneeze?
I think that was you.
I didn't sneeze. I don't remember if I sneezed.
I don't sneeze.
Might have been my dad. Was it like a big roaring, like a massive, huge dog barked? That's kind of what my dad's sneezes sound like. Candy thought it was you.
I don't sneeze.
Interesting.
I would have suggested it was a can opening, but there wasn't one of those either.
Right. The intrigue. I'm intrigued. Sure are, Gaffer. I thought Gaffer had disappeared, but he's obviously been lurking. Do they really not work in the rain? Surely the technology's moved on from that old stuff that didn't work in the rain.
I think that they're just lazy and they prefer not to have to
Yeah,
get out of
have
their
to.
cars in the rain.
I agree.
But they'll highway patrol you for sure.
They'll take photos of you, but they won't get out their car and write you a ticket in the wet.
You just get it in the mail.
Mm-hmm. Ah, well, Rob Bull, you and Sarah are right on the same page. And with me as well. I think his choice in here. He's really coloured up nice. He's loving life. Even though he's got a territory to defend, but that's probably part of the thing with the colouring up. As he's sort of holding this corner of the tank with the, I've been calling it Stonehenge that I've created with these upright rocks. Give him a little bit of space to defend. As you can see, the jaguar coming in under here. You probably can't see it so far away, but I'll just say you can. Gives him that whole end of the tank to defend, and he does a pretty good job of defending it. Right. So you did disappear for a bit, Gaffer, and now you're just back for a drive. I hope you're not texting and driving, Gaffer. That would be uncool. Always good to be a guinea pig, Monica, unless you're a guinea pig being fed to a snake.
And yet, what an honourable end. An
honourable end indeed. I think I may have missed. I've missed some conversation there, but I'm going to try not to scroll back up. At least where I'm at again. Business at the front, party at the back. That was me in the 90s. Although I wasn't so. I had big bouffant on the top as well as the mullet at the back, but it was, tidy down the sides. I was business at the sides, party at the front and the back.
Party everywhere else.
Party everywhere else apart from above the ears.
Who wants to party above the ears anyway?
Are you though, Gaffer? Are you though really using voice recognition? Because wouldn't your phone be recording? Oh, you might be listening on headphones, I suppose. I was going to say, otherwise all your messages would be what I'm saying. I don't know if that's called for, Bob Kaler. That level of filth. Don't know if that's called for on my stream, but I like it. I like it a lot. Whoops. Well, how about that? I thought Anthony's fishy friends must have disappeared years ago. I mean, minutes ago or hours ago. But he's still been lurking. How did your tank polish up the other night, Anthony? You get all the blue gone? It's probably got water in it now and a million guppies or something. Sorry, Monica, I'm not going to answer that question because I do not want to promote bad habits on my channel. Not like, you know.
He's smoking sick baby.
Yes, I'm smoking this one. The one with the sick baby on it.
I, on the other hand, am smoking eyeballs.
I'm so lucky I'm not pregnant right now.
Not real.
Oh, that's right, Anthony. You didn't. I suffer from memory loss generally because I'm, you know, engaged in extracurricular activities while I'm watching streams and whatnot. Yes, we have 100 million billion different brands down here, but they're all different to the ones that you see in your country. But they're probably all made in the same places. I think mine are made in Indonesia, manufactured in Indonesia. It's funny when you've got a plant product and they say it's manufactured. Interesting choice of words, tobacco manufacturers. And speaking of which, how about this bizzo going down with vapors? Pardon me. The first person to die of a lung illness related to vaping in the US. When was that? That was over the weekend, I believe. All of these high horse vapors saying it's so much better for you. All we had to do was sit back and wait for the data. You know, if you're piling some kind of fumes other than air into your lungs, something bad's going to happen eventually. Oh, look, there's a bristle nose as well. And bristle nose is surviving. So here we go. Here's a bit of the action. Actually, I haven't fed these guys today. Perhaps I should feed. Yeah, Philip Morris are down here, Cove. They do probably 30% of the cigarette brands in Australia. Midnight scene, yeah. Yeah, well, who knows? People are just throwing all their own oils and whatever you call it, fluids, mixing all this crazy shit together. Should I feed my fish? Might maybe I will. If I'm going to engage in a feeding. I hope that wasn't too noisy for everyone's ears. How's that looking? That light is super bright, isn't it? I wonder if I can this one. Doesn't make much difference. Oh, pardon me. All right, Derek, thanks for stopping in, man. We'll see you very soon, no doubt. If not here, Aquamate's channel, Night Girl's channel, one of the peaks.
If you're doing feeds, do you not like a tag team or like a double effort to get some in the first?
Yeah, it's probably a good idea. So, but what I might do also is prep some lids so I can have access to all 3 holes. Oscar, I'm ready to jump out, aren't you? And you know, we take the lids. Saying, oh, it's definitely one of the words I like to say during a burp. That I I ever do beast the other day?
Yeah.
Didn't. Yeah, beast is my favourite, Bob. I do beast. Or
Has the
Murphy.
next on the face.
Oh, that's right, because we showed the picture that day of the picture of my beast bird. So,
some of this one.
well,
But do you want me to put it like
No, I want to give you this one in your hand, though,
okay.
as in your hand, like that. And I'm going to grab some of these guys. It's very bright, isn't it? I don't know how much action you're going to see, folks. We'll try and make it work. I'm going to entertain the Oscar over here. You can drop when ready. He will just go to town and eat everything anyway.
Buster's not even over here right now. Now he's gone over there.
He'll find them because they're in his turf. My guts is in the way. There he goes into his turf to get his feed. Gibbo wants to come in and get some protein snacks. Whoops, that was a ridiculous load. Those. I'll drop some of them over there while Oscar's busy down here. Really got to sort those lights out. They really glare like a mother. Where did that come from? I think Oscar just picked up. I think he had a mouthful of gravel and he spat out gravel. And where's the other rib? No, the rib's not even keen to come out for a feed. Potentially soon enough. That's not an ashtray. That's a fish food container, Blacky. Oh, Oscar, you're so greedy. He knows where to look too. Those massive eyes are there for a reason, aren't they? Their eyesight must be quite spectacular. Fish room, how are you, Cam? Just in time to watch the murder happen. Oh, that was quite a bite. He certainly grabbed a hold of me then.
Look, he's getting better and better at sizing up the direction of your finger.
He actually grabbed on then and tried to pull a part of my finger off. But yeah, his bottom jaw is a little bit wonky to one side. Oh, you got sunshine over there, Cam. It's all overcast and dark here, mate. Yeah, I reckon if I put a T-bone steak in there, the Oscar would have a go at it. Now he's going to disappear into the glare of my computer screen. Festo is going to go back over to his corner and find all of those little red pellets. Cam, you're probably a good one to ask. Any other cichlid people? What do you reckon about this Hikari Gold brand? I know they sell it all around the world. Sometimes my fish are into it and other times they're not. Any experiences or stories worth relating regarding to that brand?
Do they eat in the wild?
bugs, small fish.
So, because like this is like,
It's probably primarily comprised of fish meal and shrimp meal.
it's got fish meal, but it's got just like wheat bran,
Yeah.
yeast, corn, wheat, corn, rice, and then like vitamins.
I did broad beans the other day. I always got a bag of broad beans in my freezer for the ancestris and the other plecos and whatnot. And yeah, the Oscar made such a mess of the broad beans.
Is that like a turd hanging out of them?
It sure is. Oh my God. That's almost as big as mine. And it's a floater. Crikey. I don't know if you saw that on camera, did you people? Crikey. Yeah, that's definitely a good idea, Rob Bull, is making your own food. I've got to definitely get back into it. I used to make a lot of my own food, but defo got a bit slack. Ends up being a hell of a lot cheaper too. And yeah, as we just discovered by reading the ingredients on these, with a lot of second ingredient on the list, wheat bran. How many fish are eating wheat bran in the wild? And brewer's yeast, flaked corn, wheat flour, corn gluten meal. There's certainly a lot of shit in there. Garlic's high on the list though. That's good to have in there.
Because we all know fish love garlic.
Well, it's a good antibiotic for them as well.
I don't know.
Lots of
it's
people
just
use it in their fish foods. But certainly Cove mentioning fillers, that wheat bran, that's all it's in there for, is to bulk it up. I don't know how well they go at digesting it. That poo that the Oscar just spat out was probably mostly wheat bran. My other pellet I use is it's a high protein, not a mass. What do you call them? Major brand. It's like a small company that makes the food. So I tend to believe that smaller companies try a little bit harder. They're not into the mass producing. Yeah.
And the Jag also just
Had to go at his poo.
no, he pooped,
And then
and the Oscar was like, he spat it straight out.
Well, I think
Let it go to the top.
Rob Bull did just mention before how food motivated my Oscar is. So he's a little bit poop motivated as well until he tastes it and then has to spit it out. But yeah, by crikey, that little feeding session has certainly left a lot of detritus and floating bizzo in the tank.
Is that from a lot of movement or a lot of stuff coming out of their gills after they eat it?
Bit of both. Good on you, Gibbo. Stick up for yourself. Fight back with the Oscar. Little Notchy, the rib, hiding over in the corner while he's got a mouthful of food. And believe it or not, there is still 3 prawns in this tank as well. Still surviving. One in this little cave down here. One up under that log up top. And I did see the other one earlier, but I don't know where it is now. Probably in the Oscar's guts. I'm a big fan of regular water changes in here. I will accept that blame, Gaffa. I will take that fault any day of the week. Good ideas, Cove. You might as well put it on film. Get that channel expanded with some quality footage and good ideas. there's certainly not enough videos out there of people's homemade foods, because there's a lot of awesome ideas out there getting around of the different foods that people are making and using, and certainly no harm in sharing that kind of information out across the hobby for everyone to get involved in.
I don't remember enough of the information. Is it true the thing about how they spots are meant to be like false eggs to encourage the females to actually, but not maybe in these ones, maybe it's in the mouth breeding ones?
It's primarily in African cichlids. They have egg spots on their anal fins, and those will become more predominant in breeding seasons. But yeah, primarily African cichlid thing. You don't get many. I don't think there's actually any American cichlids that do the egg spot stuff. Got the Jag. Doesn't necessarily want to fight with the Feste right now, but the Feste is vigorously defending his corner of the tank. Jag is also very food motivated. He's more interested in food than the biff right now. Yeah, that I agree with what Debra's saying, that the reason that they put ash into fish food is for the mineral content that is found in ash. But yeah, and then I do agree with Rob Bull as well that, you know, the amount of mineral supplements that are commercially available nowadays, why wouldn't you just go for precise amounts of those minerals that you want to get in there? You guys are all coming through with the good info. Absolutely, Gaffa. They don't have to put exact quantities in, and I guess also then they don't have to go out and buy commercial quantities of said mineral ingredients.
Is there any potential thing about, because say for humans, taking a, you know, because they're made synthetically a lot of the time, and the actually taking mineral supplements doesn't, they're not necessarily absorbed properly. Whereas potentially if it's coming from an organic source, there's more bioavailability of minerals to be actually used by the animal in the food.
And I would imagine that that would be probably more exaggerated in a cold-blooded animal than a warm-blooded mammal also, that more direct access to the organic compounds would be much better for their bodies than a man-made compound. I like your spots, but you bite too much.
You love it.
I'm glad it doesn't hurt. You know, Feste and the Jag, when they get big, they're going to have teeth, much bigger teeth than the Oscar.
Oh, how nice is it looking like at his red bits through his mouth? I'm so interested in the whole breathing and scenting and tasting structure inside of their heads now. How different is that going to be in, say, the variety of fish that you've got here?
What's that? It won't be very much different at all, because we're all, these guys are all considered New World cichlids. So they're all like at the most recent end of, what do you call it? Evolution. or evolution, potentially. So their taste, scent, breathing, all of those things are going to be incredibly similar in their heads.
So they sucking in through their mouth and blowing out through their nostrils to smell it from the water?
That's a good question.
That's what I was reading about, that's how.
Makes sense because
But then you've got another nostril that has multiple valves where you're coming in and out through separate.
Interesting. I must have to learn more about fish's nostrils. Plants I have in here, Bob, are Bacopa up the back, Java moss, recovering Java moss on the rock. I did actually get the scientific name of this pom-pom thing. I think it was Liz from One Fish, Two Fish who identified it for me. C23, good night. If you're out of here, thanks for stopping by. Cam, you probably should go if the kids are crying. You better go and sort that out, lad.
Or
just let it go. Just shut the door.
Put on some headphones. They might not be crying at all.
Put on some headphones and some really loud death metal. That is the best solution for crying kids. Unless it's like one of those really fierce biting cries where you know that they've broken a bone or something. Yeah, like I said, Bob, I was told the scientific name of them, but
Are you ready for it?
no, thank you. I'm fine right now. I didn't say it to myself 17 times to remember it. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure of the Bacopa that I've got. G'day, Jace. Jace from Perth Cichlids in the house. Jace says hi to Sarah.
Hi.
No, only one of my fish. I've named my Gibbiceps Gibbo because that seemed pretty easy.
We kind of called this guy Nutty.
Oh yeah, this little
has an identification term.
Little Rivulatus back here has a he's got a bite out of his dorsal fin, so we call him Notchy. And my Rivulatus, I call him Big Riv because he's big and he's a riv. But that's about it. As they get bigger, I've had this Feste since he was only a centimetre long, a tiny little baby. As he gets bigger and develops more of a personality, he might get a name. Yeah, I talk to my fish. Talk to them all the time. Pardon me, I burp at them quite frequently as well. How can you not talk to your fish? How's it any different than talking to your dog? They seem to react. They can hear all of the noises outside the tank coming into the tank. I think we all do that, Rob. None of us, I just don't think we video it as much as Thirsty does because he's definitely got a very special rapport with his fish. And what else have I got in here? I think that we've narrowed down the 3 plants. I used to have more plants when I was trying to do CO2, but yeah, once my CO2 system, I realised it wasn't consistent enough, and I pulled it out. Just stuck with the plants that worked.
Do you think you would be able to propagate that little fern that you've got going?
I certainly hope so.
Duckweed.
Oh yeah, I got plenty of duckweed. Duckweed for days. Does anyone know if you can propagate Java ferns from leaf cuttings, or do you need rootstock? Like say, for example, using like a hormone rooting gel or rooting powder that you use for garden plants, do you reckon you'd have success using that kind of product on a leaf cutting or a stem cutting of an aquatic plant? You can. Yes, definitely, says Bob Kaler.
Nice.
I hope that was an answer to my question, or might have been a response to the stink eye comment. Java fern, Rob Bull. I've got a particular Java fern that has a normal shaped, like a Java fern kind of leaf.
The name of it starts with a W.
And then it's got like a staghorn antler kind of formation on the top of it. And it just sprouted itself on a piece of driftwood. When I bought this tank, it came with a piece of driftwood. And after a couple of months, this weird plant started growing on it. And now the stems are a good 2.5, 3 inches long, nice staghorn formations on top. I have seen other versions of it, but they all seem a hell of a lot bigger than the one that I've got. And I was wondering if I should try and propagate it in different, try some in substrate, try some in wool, or all different efforts to try and get it going. Windelov, that's it.
That's the one.
GRB, all over it. Windelov
Sure.
is the one. What do you reckon? Can you propagate it with different methods, or do you need a piece of the rootstock? Because from what I've seen with the one of mine that sprouted on the piece of wood, there is no rootstock. There's no tuber or corm.
And it just came up after some time, didn't it? It was like some time, and then it started to grow.
It's like there was maybe some tiny little remnant of a corm there, or a tuber, or even just a spore or something. I'm not quite sure how they spread, unless it is just by the tuber spreading. Took a long time to start up, and then it just kicked off. But again, it is only 2.5, 3 inches tall, not as big as other specimens of the Windelov I've seen. And I speculate that that is potentially because of what rootstock might be available there on the piece of wood.
It's very beautiful.
It's a very pretty plant. And I've got to actually trim off some of the Java moss out of the way, because it's shielding it from the morning sunlight that it gets. As long as it can handle the morning sunlight, maybe the Java moss might be doing it a favour. Well, we can find out together, GRB, because I definitely want to have a crack at it.
Is that like that culture gel? Is that something that you can buy to grow plants in? Or is that just like a growing medium rather than something? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I'm not sure if it's hormoned or not. Anyone else know that? If you know your gel that you get your tissue culture plants in, does that have any rooting hormone in it? Or potentially, would you be able to mix a little bit of rooting hormone in with your growing gel, potentially as a medium to propagate plants? Or are we potentially opening up a can of worms that no one's ever tried before? But I'm pretty sure that's how they do it in the labs when they're tissue culturing plants and putting it in the gel. An interesting
so
concept.
they're just taking cuttings, putting it in the gel, and then it's rooting in.
Well, all of the stuff that they put in the gel is tissue culture, so it's all cultured at a microscopic level. So I would imagine that.
Necessarily replicable at home.
Well, it potentially is.
Yeah.
I did a little bit of that sort of stuff when I was studying horticulture. We got into a little bit of tissue culture, and you can do it, but obviously you need a microscope and a fairly nifty set of pointy tools.
So
Not talking about those kind of hormones, Joseph. We're talking about rooting hormones. All right. You can buy it online, but there are, oh, you mean the rooting hormones are specific. And there was I thinking the transport dramas were over. Pardon me. GH Aquatics has cloning hormones for tulips, and that will work for a lot of aquarium plants. Interesting. There is much research that needs to be done on.
So how do you go about that?
How do you go about what?
Well, you've got your plant, you've got your rooting hormones, or your cloning hormones. So then what's your process?
Well, with terrestrial plants, I've done it many times. You basically take a cutting off your plant.
Just like rooting gel.
Yeah, exactly like rooting gel.
Oh yeah.
Dip it in,
So you're
put
not
it in
really
your...
cloning, you're just stimulating.
No, that is
root.
cloning. Because the
You're
plant...
taking a piece of it and turning it into a honey.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it is an exact genetic clone of that
Yeah.
plant.
Right.
It works very well in the propagation of certain smokable herbs as well. They do it very often.
So I've done rooting gel on terrestrial plants
Smokable
also.
herbs. 2:10. What have I been going for? 2 hours and 7 minutes. Well, we've been yammering on about not much at all. I haven't tried Osmocate for rooting tabs, but I have heard of its use. I can't see why it would be very different than using it for terrestrial plants because of its slow release nature. So you're not going to really be polluting your water very rapidly, unless in water they may break down a bit quicker.
But you also probably want to do that in a plants only tank and not in a fish.
Probably be a good idea. However, some, depending on what you have in there, you know, like say shrimps and stuff like that may benefit from the extra minerals and whatnot that the fertilizers will be putting out.
Sure.
Rooting hormones and cloning is a bit different. But like I said, are you not, if you're taking a cutting off a plant and using your rooting hormones, are you not of the plant that you've taken a cutting off? That's my understanding of it.
So,
Pam is getting busy with her tank work. 3 to go. You're on the home stretch, love. Anyway, we haven't even hit any of our regular segments on the show today, and we're 2 hours and 10 minutes in almost. 22 done. Only 22 and 3 to go.
shame.
Who's a busy girl? Bloody outstanding effort. JH is all over it. Cloning gels actually multiply cells and make thousands of plants from one cell.
Yeah, okay.
So that you've got cloning gels and then you've got rooting hormones. Righto, now I'm getting the difference. Nice one.
So then what's the process of using cloning gel?
Well, I imagine that's where you separate tiny amounts. You get your
You're
little
getting right
petri
down
dishes, and yeah, that's where your microscopic level happens of putting.
And then when you've got your multiples and you put them into your tissue culture and you're growing more plants from like a nothing than
Yeah.
previous plant.
Interesting. So very interesting.
And so when you're buying your tissue culture plants, is that where they've come from? They've come from a cell level?
Yes. That's the whole concept of tissue culture, is getting those, them doing it at a microscopic level, as far as I understand it.
I'm interested. I just want to learn.
We're learning so much today. In vitro jars and put one leaf in the gel. Right. This is choice. I'm so glad you were here, JH. Joseph is full of the knowledge. So, shall we move on to one of our regular segments? Oh, James Hukulak coming out with the big words.
What's the big word?
Micropropagation. I didn't actually think I was going to say that right, but I said it perfectly. I enunciated it so well. Thanks, Bob. Yeah, I thought I'd chuck that in. Mainly because I did my impromptu stream in the middle of the night last night, which apparently woke a few people up and ruffled some feathers. And I think I used most of my material last night that I had saved up for my stream today. So I thought, I better jump on the interwebs and find out some stuff to talk about if it gets a bit slow. But, I brought it up and it wasn't even getting slow, but pardon me, it was good to wander down a different tangent and to learn how to pop a link into the chat. That was good too. But I may have to go and wrestle my crocodile, and what I might do is hand over to Scungy to show off some of her drawings today that she did.
I will prefer when you show them off.
Yeah, but I've got a crocodile to go and wrestle, something shocking. So, would anyone be interested in that at this stage, or have I kept you all too long? Probably, if everyone's been here too long, maybe no one would be interested in checking out Scungy's art. Oh, g'day, Waddy. Waddy says hi to you and me.
Hi, who's that?
That's Todd's missus.
Oh, hello. Are we going to get to meet her on the weekend?
Todd, are you and Waddy coming to Weesey's birthday dinner on, what is it? Not this Friday, next Friday night. You guys both coming? You can probably read the answer to that while you're showing your art to the people, because I'm hearing that crocodile. It's getting fierce out there.
Yeah, but you might need some help.
Super fierce. No, I can handle it. He's only little. He's only 6 meters long. No.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it. We both stood up at the same time and she ran. Oh, music segment. Bob, I'd completely forgotten about the music segment. Maybe we might have to do some music after the art segment. Crikey, then we'll be borderline. I've got to disappear just before 3 o'clock. I've got to go and pick up my younger boy from school. Well done, Ginger. You've completed the duella, the bifector, whatever they call it. So yes, Todd says that if they can get a sitter, him and Waddy will be coming. See what happens. Shelby Ray Lane says art first, music second. Bob Kalo raised the issue of a music segment too, a potential music segment. Somehow it had slipped my mind completely that we sometimes play music on this stream. Nancy Jones has made it in. Welcome, Nancy. I'll sit back. I might even move out of the way a little bit. I do have a crocodile I have to go and wrestle for a few seconds, and while I'm doing that, Scungy's going to talk you through some of the art that she's done today at what do you call it? Life Drawing. Melvin, when did you sneak in? I didn't even see Melvin sneak in. Nice colours on Sarah's frock, says Bob Kaler.
Thanks, Bob. That's nice of you to notice.
Cove also noticed that I'm a gentleman for letting you go first. Yes, she had a crocodile to wrestle to, apparently. I'm glad we're all totally on top of that euphemism. Anyway, I'll be back. Here's Sarah with art. Start with this one. It's choice.
Would you like fortify me?
Yeah. Oh, right. I didn't understand what it meant. I thought it was just meant with black fires and stuff. You got this, baby. You've got this.
I'm not sure I'm entirely comfortable with this. I much prefer for a Mikey to do it. Yeah. It's hard to hold it straight, isn't it? It's very confusing. I don't know if I'm doing it right, so I can't lean over far enough to see the screen without feeling like I shouldn't be there. I can't get them straight. They're all crooked
It happens.
and stuff. Don't have very many to show you.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Like that one.
I like that whole theme that we're running on.
Yeah, well, it just keeps coming out.
Oh, that tastes different. Wow.
I don't know other than that. I was working on that one. It's not finished yet. I've only got so far.
Robbie Bull noticed the another installment of the 3 skulls. Yeah, she
I don't know
said.
where they're coming from.
She says, Roberts, it just keeps popping out. It's a theme that is repeating.
I don't really know that that's actually worth the showing.
Yeah, that's definitely worth the showing. I love the shadings, the different gradients of darkness, the axanthic nature of the image. Shelby Ray also likes the Triple Skull series. Pardon me. I think clearly that picture represents one of Blacky's burps.
That's
Candy
about
says
it.
you're doing great, Sarah.
Right, I think that's finished over. Oh, we can't even see it.
Contrast.
Oh, it's very confusing.
It is. It's incredibly confusing.
that's all the interesting things I got there late.
Right, so we only had a small showing today in Art with Sarah
That one.
because time was limited. I do like that one. I like it a lot. I find these lines on this one very interesting. Is it lactating or is it bleeding?
It's probably lactating. I
One-
don't know.
one-
Maybe it's lactating blood.
Blood, lactating blood. There's a shirt. No one beat me to there's a shirt on that one.
But I like these eyeballs.
They are very good eyeballs. There's so much feeling in those eyeballs. What do we think about those eyeballs and the concept of lactating blood?
It's for her monster children.
Rob Ball said he liked that last drawing. I think a lot of people liked that last drawing, and it was the one you were
The last
least
one.
excited about showing. Yeah, the large one with lots
The
of
large
dark in it.
one, not the little one, because I think I did the little round one last.
Oh, did you? Was it the little round one or the last one? JC, you messing with me? You know I don't do gallons. You just pull on my pud. Sombra says the one with the 3 heads, 3 skulls, looks like an evil dandelion. It would make a great tattoo. And as soon as he said
I had
evil
someone ask me
dandelion,
about getting a tattoo of my work like just the other day.
there's an option. Depth in those eyes. Oh, it's like, hang on. Oh no, Derek's gone, so he can't do the maths for us. But I got my handy dandy tape measure. You ready, Jace? Write these numbers down. Well, I know it's 5 foot away, so I don't need to do that. 5 foot, let's call that 150 centimeters or 1500 millimeters. Oh, crikey, here's been me saying it's 2 foot tall and it's not 2 foot tall. 1 foot 10 inches high. Hang on, I'm supposed to be doing this in metric, aren't I? 56 centimeters tall or 560 millimeters. It's all written. I got it.
You've got a side
I've
on
got
your
a side
side
as
too.
well. And 46 centimeters front to back or 460 millimeters. And go with your maths. It's so good that we can just measure lines to work out the volume of something. Bloody science. Anyway, we've got approximately half an hour left before I have to go and collect a child from school. So we may not necessarily, I mean, yeah, let's do a cigarette. But then we'll definitely be restricted with how much music we can squeeze in. I know there's a few smokers out there with us who can appreciate
Priorities.
the importance of cigarettes over music. Who knows what the fans want, what you people out there desire. And I know it's riveting viewing, watching me smoke a cigarette.
Know
Yeah.
why they're all here.
The amount of talk I got earlier about lips and eyes and stuff, smoking a cigarette can only accentuate those eyeballs and those lips. A 40-gallon tank. 40 times 3.8 is 120 something. And 30, yeah, that's about right. A bit bigger than 40 gallon, I reckon, Nancy. I reckon a 5 foot is generally about 100 gallons. And if I'm going to go with Rob Bull's mats of 386 litres and 3.8 litres to the gallon, I would say that, yeah, we're spot on about 100 gallons. Good maths, Robbie Bull. I couldn't find a calculator at short notice, and I'm much more preferable to let the other people do the maths.
Instruments?
Sure, let's do instruments. And potentially, I may need a guitar pick. I don't know where a guitar pick is.
I swear I just saw one.
I think there is one here on the table.
Yeah, I totally did see one. I'm really
But this
sure.
table is a bit of a shambles after the last few days of nonsense and hijinks and shenanigans. Any requests? Anyone got any requests? Probably won't play your requests, but it's fun to hear people say requests and then have me say no. Is it on the...
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I know where it was. But then that doesn't explain why you saw it.
Maybe I'm just imagining.
Actually, you come this way so I can go that way. I knocked a whole bunch of shit off the cupboard before.
I feel that I saw it on the table, but I might have just been seeing it on the table another day and placing that memory in today. Because brains can do that.
They can. Pony, Rob Bull is... We got people requesting songs that we've done in the last couple of weeks.
I want to hear them again.
Re-requests.
That's
How
kinda
bizarre.
cute.
Rob Bull's requested Pony. I think we did that, what, 2 weeks ago?
More. 4.
3, 4 weeks ago. I think it was Debra that requested Down Under. Did that a few weeks ago as well.
Hello.
Hi there, how are you?
Am I in the right place?
I don't know.
I'm
What
looking
place
for
are you looking for?
George.
George.
No.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
in-
yeah?
He's in there. Yeah, we're just messing with you.
Thank you.
When you're live on the internet, it's fun to mess with people, you know. Why has he got a second nurse coming today, though? There we go. She answered my question just like that. Anthony's Fishy Friends has requested Under the Bridge by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I wonder,
We were trying to do the other one.
is it too early to do that one yet?
Maybe. Do you know they're very simple, I think.
That's the only thing I can go
Can
on
you
is
put it on your tablet?
potentially I may be able to read the chords of another one. Bob Kaler wants to hear Piece of My Heart by Janis Joplin. Showing your age, Bob. Showing
Oh.
your age.
Like that.
Can you do it though?
Don't know. We've never practiced that.
Robbie Bull agrees.
Takes a lot of passion for that one.
It does. Fire and Rain.
I could
crikey.
give it a whirl.
Fire and Rain, James Taylor. I used to play that one like 26 years ago. Stairway to Heaven, Cove.
No.
That song is banned in most places. You're not allowed to play it in guitar shops or you get kicked out. Sombra, we're staying in the back of Sarah's car because with the back seats down, we can fit a mattress in there and we're just tall enough to fit. And Weesey said there's space at Prehlad's house for us to park the car and not get arrested for sleeping in the car. It's probably a good idea. I need to actually turn my tablet on by the look of it. Oh no, it's on. And now just happen to have a really loud talking nurse. If you're, where's her place where he's saying that we can park in her yard? Is that like close to the German club?
Hopefully, how else will we try?
That's what I'm thinking. If we got to scoot out that way after drinking multiple litres of liquid. By crikey, there are requests flying in. Oh, what did Shelby Ray say? Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Or is it hang down your head by Tom Dooley? I don't know if people want to see us repeat Pony Rob. I'm getting my Robs and my Bobs mixed up. I've forgotten what it's called.
Breaking the girl.
Shit. No, I did not select that. Please hold while I dissipate this googly nonsense. Poop. And who's to say that we're going to have the same version and it's going to be right? This could get hairy. The song is banned because every kid learning to play guitar goes into a guitar shop and plays Stairway to Heaven, and they don't necessarily play it that well. So they get shamed out.
Just overdone.
Overdone is the perfect way to say it. Perfect, not, but close enough probably. We'll find out, I guess, halfway through the song. All right, Todd, we'll is Byron Music still open?
Byron Music is still open.
They've changed location though, haven't they?
They've changed from where the original location was out to near the Mitre 10.
Yeah.
But that was some years back.
I'm trying to avoid Byron Bay as much as possible. But yes, I think the last thing I bought from Byron Music was a pair of drumsticks many, many years ago. Now, I might have to tune to you real quick. This is the segment of the show called Tuning Guitars with Blacky. see you, Gaffer. Thanks for stopping by. You'll have to check the replay for the musical shenanigans we get up to. That sounds a bit better. A little. I cannot read, apparently.
She meant you no harm.
That's where it goes to.
Think you're so clever, but now you must celebrate on breaking the code. She loves no one else. My dad grow up the day he was my man that walked away. She was the girl left alone. I don't know why, when or why. Twilight of love had arrived, twisting and turning your feelings are burning, you're breaking the code. She meant you no harm. Think you're so clever, but now you must celebrate on breaking the code. He loves no one else. Twisting and turning, your feelings are burning, you're breaking the code. She meant you no harm. Think you're so clever, but now you must celebrate, you're breaking the code. He loves no one else. Twisting and turning, your feelings are burning, you're breaking the code. She He loves no one else.
That's it, you've got 15 minutes.
You got less than that. I've got to go and get Abel from school.
Oh,
Breaking the Girl, Red Hot Chili Peppers, ladies and gentlemen. Just joking. I'm not going to play it. Crikey. No stairway to heaven for you or anyone else ever. Well, maybe not never, but anyway,
someone can have it sometime.
I guess we're going to have to,
Something else.
yeah, we're going to probably just have to pick one from the songbook and call it quits because I'm going to have to go and do a school run. And, you know, one song and a whole bunch of goodbyes and thank yous and whatnot. And it'll be time to drive really, really fast. I don't know what to do. What was... Oh, hello.
Can we try that one later on? We might have
Never
to go
understood.
somewhere else.
Pardon me.
Dads and stuff.
Yes, we can. Oh, he's in there twice. Done that. Well, we did that the other day too, didn't we?
Yeah, I think so.
What was... Oh, should we have a crack at that?
If you like.
I just don't think I'd mind. Oh, it sounds
As long as we
interesting,
get the
Debra.
timing right.
Which timing?
Just the timing of the song. I'm sure we can.
I believe this is A Counting Crows. But it's not Mr. Jones. It's not.
Just down the street from your hotel, baby. I stay at home with my disease. Ain't this position familiar, darling? Well, all monkeys do what they say. Help me stay awake, I'm falling down home, Virginia and Alabama. Or I've got friends who care for me. You've got an attitude of everything I ever wanted. I've got an attitude of need. Help me stay awake, I'm falling. Sleep in perfect good buildings. Oh, beside these lives which are completely meaningless. Help me stay awake. I'm asleep in perfect blue buildings. Oh, beside the rain and say, oh, I wanna give me a little oblivion, baby. Try to keep myself away from myself and me. Oops. I've got bones beneath my skin, and mister, there's a skeleton in every man's house. Beneath the dust and love and sweat that hangs on everybody, there's a dead man trying to get out. So you please help me stay awake. I'm falling asleep in perfect blue buildings. Oh, beside the green apple sea, I wanna give me a little oblivion, baby. Try to keep myself away from myself and me.
Asleep in perfect blue buildings. Beside the rain. Wanna give me a little
Oblivion, baby. Try to keep myself away from myself and me.
Perfect blue buildings, Counting Crows. That will be. Sorry, we've only kept it to 2, but don't you fall, don't you fall. Time is of the essence, and once again, I've way outstayed my welcome. What I might do, however, is if you people would like to make requests, and if we can make them happen, we shall try. Bye now. Thank you very much. On the Instagrams, you can find me at Blacky66. Pop your requests or DM them to me on Instagram, I guess, is probably good. Or maybe in the comments to this video down there somewhere. If you pop your requests, we'll go through them. Thanks, Candy. You weren't supposed to do that. You're supposed to be resting and looking out for yourself. Shoot your requests. We'll try and go through them. I mean, we've had 1,000 requests over the last few weeks. We'll try and get through them, probably put some up, and then the ones that we do get to, that person who requested it will feel super happy. So yeah, that'll do us for right now. Thank you very much, Candy. Again, very sorry for your loss. I hope you feel better real soon. Monica Lynn, James, Bob Kayla, Rob Bull, GRB, thanks for stopping by. Punchy, if you're still here, you've probably finished your 3 tanks by now. having a ciggy and a Bailey's at the end of it all. Anthony's fishy friends, I think I just did say goodbye to you. Old habits die hard, don't they, Candy? Anyone else? Debra Sanders, I think I said goodbye to you. Cove, appreciate your efforts. Gaffa Hanes, I know you're probably gone by now. And Nancy, thanks for following, riding in on Gaffa's wake. Shelby Ray, if you're still here, thank you for popping in. Everyone else, Sombra, if you're still here, Toddy, thanks heaps for stopping by. Let's dialogue next weekend and we'll work something out, my friend. Heroes, not a bad idea, Rob Bull. We might have a crack at that. But yeah, shoot your requests down in the comments below, even if you're watching the replay. And if you are watching the replay and you missed the live, thank you very much for sitting through this nonsense. It's a long, long time to sit through nonsense and burps. Appreciate you all, though, whether you were here live or whether you're watching the replay. Much appreciated. Essentially, I have done 5 hours of streaming in the last 15 hours. That's got to be some kind of stupid record for me, and I probably will never do that again. Anyway, thanks again, everybody. It's been a pleasure talking at your faces and having me in your ears. Something like that. And yeah, thanks again. Thanks for popping by. Bye now. I'll check yous.